everyone, and welcome to this step-by-step lesson. If you're a beginner student just starting out, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a super clear, straightforward look at the absolute foundation of the English language, the verb to be. Specifically, we're going to master how to form basic questions and give those quick, short answers. Think of this explainer as your essential building block. We're taking it step by step, so grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's jump right in. Here's our roadmap for today's lesson. First, we'll look at a real-world scenario. Then we'll break down the question structure, cover affirmative answers, highlight a really important warning about abbreviations, move on to negative answers, and finally, wrap up with some step-by-step practice. All right, section 1, the scenario. Meeting people. Now, grammar is only really useful if you can actually use it out in the real world, right? So let's ground everything we're learning today in a situation we can all relate to. Meeting new people and finding out basic facts about them. Picture a few people mingling at a party. When you meet someone new, what's one of the first things you might ask? Where they're from. Notice the dialogue here. The woman asks, "Are you Italian?" And the man replies, "No, I'm not. I'm Spanish." This right here is the verb to be in its absolute most natural, everyday habitat, asking and answering basic questions about nationalities. And here's another incredibly practical use. Imagine a security guard or a bouncer at a club. What's he checking? Age and ID. He asks the two guys, "Are you 18?" And they confidently reply, "Yes, we are." So whether you're asking about nationality, age, or even marital status, the structure we are exploring today is exactly what you need. Moving right along to section 2, question structure. Now that we've seen these questions in action, let's kind of pop the hood and look at the engine. We need to see exactly how these sentences are built. The magic trick is right here. In English, to turn a standard statement into a question using the verb to be, the verb has to physically jump to the absolute front of the sentence. Look at the columns. We always start with the verb, am, is, or are. Then comes our subject, I, he, she, it, or you, we, they. And finally, the rest of the info. Am I British? Is she 18? Are they married? That structure literally never changes. Verb first, subject second. It's like a formula. Okay, section 3, short affirmative answers. So moving forward, now that you know how to actually build the question, how do you correctly say yes when someone asks you one? Well, there's a very specific formula for this too. It's a simple, unbreakable combination. You always start with yes, followed by a comma. Then you drop in the subject pronoun, like I, she, or they, and finally the full verb. Yes, I am. Yes, he is. Yes, they are. It's punchy, it's polite, and it completely answers the question without you having to repeat the entire sentence. Which brings us to section 4. Watch out for abbreviations. This is a really common trap. Okay, I really need you to pay close attention right here. This is literally the most critical warning of our lesson, and honestly, it's a stumbling block that trips up so many beginners. Over on the left, we see the correct forms. Yes, I am. Yes, he is. But on the right, we have the incorrect forms. Yes, I'm. Yes, he's. So why does this happen? Here's the golden rule. You must never, ever abbreviate short affirmative answers. It is an absolute structural rule of the English language. Because the verb is the very last word in that short sentence, it has to carry the full weight and stress of your voice. If you shrink it down to I'm or he's, the sentence literally just deflates. It sounds totally unfinished to an English speaker's ear. So always use the full word. I hope that explanation clears up a major hurdle for you. By the way, if you are enjoying this straightforward, step-by-step approach to mastering English grammar without all the confusion, take a quick second right now to subscribe to the channel. It's for sure the best way to make sure you never miss a lesson, and we can just keep building your fluency together. All right, section 5, short negative answers. Fantastic! Let's keep this momentum going. We learned how to say yes. Now we need the exact blueprint for how to properly say no. Now, unlike the affirmative answers where we absolutely couldn't abbreviate, for negative answers, we actually prefer to use contractions. You start with no, then your subject, and then the contracted negative verb. So for I, we say no, I'm not. For he, she, it, we use isn't, like no, she isn't. And for you, we, they, we use aren't, like no, they aren't. Doing this just makes your speech sound so much more natural and fluid. Finally, section 6. Step-by-step practice. And now for the best part. We're going to turn your passive listening into active learning. I'm going to challenge you with a few scenarios pulled right from our source material to see how you do. Here is your first scenario. Are they Spanish? Now, I want you to imagine the answer is actually no, and that they're Mexican. How would you form the short negative answer before adding that correction? Take a second and think about what we just covered. Did you figure it out? The correct answer is, no, they aren't. They're Mexican. Excellent job if you use the contraction aren't. Notice how beautifully we combined the short negative answer, no, they aren't, with the new correct information, they're Mexican. This is exactly how native speakers converse in real life. Let's try building a complete mini conversation in your head now. The prompt is this: ask someone, you plus Italian, and the response should be, no, correcting it to Spanish. Take just a few seconds to construct both the full question and the negative response in your mind. Remember our rules. The verb has to go absolutely first for the question. Okay, let's see how you did. Person A says, are you Italian? And person B replies, no, I'm not, I'm Spanish. Celebrate your success if you correctly placed are at the very beginning of the question, and if you correctly use the negative structure I'm not for the response. You're doing incredibly well. Seriously, master these simple structures, and you unlock the absolute foundation of everyday conversation. The verb to be is literally the key that opens the door to English. By knowing how to confidently move the verb to the front to ask a question, by remembering to never abbreviate yes, I am, and by mastering those negative contractions, you are building a rock-solid foundation. Just keep practicing this, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your fluency grows. I want to help you, and I know how to do it.